So Chitralekha starts to inquire from Usa. Okay, tell me, how does that person look like? Tell me something about the whereabouts, and how does that person look like, and describe the features so that I can actually draw that person. Chitralekha was a mystical artist. She was very good at arts. So those days, I mean, of course, because Usa saw Aniruddha in dream, so Usa could only explain the features of the person, but then because she was in the dream, so I mean, of course, during those days, probably there were like people who would look at them and then actually draw paintings exactly. That's the kind of art the people used to have those days. So Usha started to describe, and Chitralekha started to draw the paintings. So she took literally paintings of almost huge number of people. So it's like she took out the images of demigods, and the devatas. She took out the images of siddhas, charanas, kinnaras, all those people. And then she also took out pictures of Krishna and Krishna's sons like Pradyumna, all those people. And then she actually came to, when she actually drew the painting of Pradyumna, and Usha got little ashamed because Pradyumna happens to be the father-in-law. So kind of she got little bashful. And when she actually draw the image of Aniruddha, she actually became very, very happy. Yes, this is the person who came in my dream. And this is the person whom I fell in love with. So today's day and age, I mean, today being a Valentine Day, today's day and age, people fall in love on the first sight. And then see, it's not about seeing a person and falling in love with that person. Unless we know that person to some extent. And just by looking at the person and falling in love with that person is very, very dangerous and risky in today's day and age. So we cannot immediately start a relationship just by looking at a person and then going and proposing them and doing all that things. So that's going to be very, very difficult and risky, as they say, love at first sight and divorce at first fight. So if people actually have a love marriage, if their love is actually on a true level, then there should be no separation. There can be fights, that's not a problem. There can be fights, and there can be difference in opinion. There can be so many differences. That's all okay. But love means sacrifice. If we are actually in love with some person, that means, are we willing to sacrifice something or anything for that person's pleasure? If we are not in a position to do that, if we can't do that, forget it. You are not in love. You are in basically illusion. So if a person is not able to sacrifice one's own pleasure or comforts for the pleasure and comforts of the other person, if there is no understanding between two people, that if somebody does something, there has to be a scope of explanation. There has to be a scope of understanding one another, having some communication between one another, having some exchange of thoughts and ideas. And even if there is a difference in opinion, there has to be some platform to connect. There has to be some platform to discuss. Without having confidential discussion, none of the people should come to a conclusion that he or she was wrong in certain aspect. And that's the reason why relationships are breaking so fast today, because there is no understanding between two people. So when Usha actually spotted the drawing, the art that was made by Chitralekha, that yes, he was the one who actually stole Usha's heart. So she actually told that. So Chitralekha was very, very mystical. So Chitralekha told that, see, I will get this person here. Okay. So let us not tell anyone. Let us not discuss this with anyone. So that's fine. I mean, everybody agreed. And then Usha was actually very, very excited. So what Chitralekha did? Chitralekha was very, very mystical. She went flying to the city of Dwarka, Now, Dwarka is a place where nobody can enter again. I mean, even this Sonitapur, where Usa was staying in the palace of Banasur, that is also a place where nobody can enter. And here, even Dwarka, it is very difficult for people to enter. But Usa, Chitralekha flew from top, and then she spotted the palace of Aniruddha, and she saw Aniruddha was sleeping, and she picked up sleeping Aniruddha from his palace and brought to Usa's palace. That's the kind of. Now see, this is again. Now there you may be thinking that this kind of mystical stories, something like that. This is actually a real historical pastime. It's not myth. It's not imagination. It's not concoction also. So she brings in Aniruddha while in the sleeping condition to Usa's palace, and now Usa and Aniruddha started staying together for a long time, and they actually had a beautiful loving exchange between themselves. And then day by day, Usa was getting very, very happy, and day by day she was getting a lot of love and reciprocation from Aniruddha, and they were spending their time very, very nicely and happily.